Hey everyone, Solomon AD here. Wanted to talk about a topic that is actually kind of controversial, which I don't think it should be, and that is the difference between resonance with spirits and full-blown ritual evocation and summoning of spirits. The truth of the matter is that um, both are legitimate forms of spirit communication, but they're not necessarily equal. Um, Jason Miller recently came out with a book that touches on this topic, but I think my first real distinction of the two, where I was breaking it down into terms, came from experimenting with Gallery of Magic books. The Gallery of Magic books have a minimalist approach, and this is where spirit resonance and a lot of most modern practitioners, they have a similar style of like a minimalist kind of setup in order to conjure whatever spirits, whatever reason this may be. I'd like that reason to be more like they just have living conditions and they're surrounded by people where they have to have a certain level of discretion. But oftentimes it's really just because people are lazy and people want some kind of result and they want it for cheap. It's a very consumerist based mindset. Most of the time, spirit resonance is how I get results. In Jason Miller's recent book, he talks about this, that around 80% of results are actually through basic resonance and not through massive ritual. I would agree. However, I would also state that there is a purpose for massive ritual, for big ritual. There's a purpose to elements such as fasting, even confession of sins, or even like breathing exercises prior to engaging in the ritual. There is purpose to these things, and they do enhance the ritual. Sometimes you can look at it like this. Like, we run into this argument: was it the ritual or was it the circumstances that actually led to the manifestation? And then sometimes people say, well, it doesn't matter as long as you got what you want. If you believe that time is cyclical and like when you enter in the realm of all these spirits that basically time is fifth dimensional, so past, present, and future happening all at the same time, it basically makes the massive ritual a formality anyways, but the formality is still necessary. Even if you get the results like before you do the ritual, should you do the ritual? Maybe, maybe not, but maybe you should do it because it's actually kind of a condition for those results to actually stick. So how do you build spirit resonance? You can just call on the name of the spirit. But, and I've been successful at this many times. However, what does that actually mean? I see a lot of modern practitioners are simply doing this. Maybe they offer a stick of incense, and then they think they have some kind of relationship with the spirit, when really they just had a conversation. They had some kind of, maybe not even a full-blown conversation, but they received some kind of signal. And they see this as a form of patronage. And they are sorely mistaken. Even me, which, like, my primary modality of engaging in the occult is through spirits, personified entities. There's only really one that I would say that I know for sure has my back at all times. That would be Samael, and then the other ones would be the Mayan gods, but that's a little different because I'm actually related to them, and the way that the cosmology is perceived is like very much on a family basis. So out of all the rest of the spirits among all other pantheons, I've had a lot of exchanges with over the years, those are the only, that one spirit, Samael, and then the group of the Mayan gods, those are the only ones that will actually like keep close knit to me at all times. And if you think about it, we do the same thing with regular relationships. If you have all kinds of friends, do you really have, like, do you know what close knit camaraderie is? But you can get results with spirit resonance. I was thinking of this really because I'm going to be making videos on various spirits I've done full-blown out rituals for, and some that I've only had resonance with. I'll also be making videos about the Mayan gods and give you tips on how to have resonance with them. But I would not say that it is the equivalent of doing a full-blown evocation. Nor do I would think that, I don't really, like, if you look at a lot of like demonetry styled spirit communication, I don't believe that those are of the same effectiveness as like a full-blown evocation. They're just not the same thing. But this sort of passive, like, I just sit down, I say your name 3 times, maybe offer you a stick of incense, or maybe even blood, and I know you will do the job for me, and now we have some sort of spirit friendship. I think it's totally false. I think if it's not false, then it's very, very misunderstood. I've seen this with a lot of modern practitioners, and I mean people that I've known personally, where they will have a full encounter with like Odin or something, and outside of a ritual setting, they'll just perceive it, and then they will have maybe a few days kind of like where Odin's like having some kind of conversation with them. Then they think that that's their like patron or something like that, but they never do a ritual or something with Odin, and then he just kind of leaves, and then they get into some kind of trouble, and they're wondering like what the hell happened, like why wasn't their patron there, and then they kind of misunderstand it and say that, oh, there's some kind of greater reason for it. I think it's just kind of being sloppy. Spirit relationships are things to be maintained. They're not things to be taken lightly. I think that is something that like Santeria does very, very well, is that they clearly establish like what your obligation to the spirit if you really do seek a relationship with them. You can do this, you can start off doing it more passively, but this whole like offering a stick of incense for 30 days, I think you're going to cap out with the results. You need to take the connection deeper. That's and I mean you can develop a pretty thick connection that way by at least starting off, and then as long as you engage in some kind of ritual at some point, I think you're going to see that level up in results. But the point of my video today is that resonance, full evocations, and even strong relationships, they're not the same thing. And I see a lot of practitioners mistaking simple resonance for like, why am I not getting the results I want? So please like, share, subscribe, sign up for the Patreon if you're into my monthly Mayan rituals. I do some other bonus content on Patreon too for those that are signed up for the ritual tier. So until next time, thank you.